Hey, this is Brian, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick guide to chess. So we have white, we have black. Each player's second row will be full of pawns. In the back rank, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to memorize the order. We have the rook on the corner, the knight next, the bishop next, and then we have king and queen in the middle. And the way that I've found to remember it is that the white queen goes on its color, just as black queen on black. So going over the general rules of the game and how the pieces move, a lot of the times players are going to fight for control of the center of the board. A pawn on its first turn can move 2 places if it wants, or it can move 1. After its first turn, it can only move 1 spot forward. Pawns can only move forward and attack diagonally. Rooks can travel in a straight line as many squares as they want, as long as it's forward, back, left, or right. Knights are the only characters that can jump, and they move in an L shape. Bishop is like a rook, except diagonal. So this is the black square bishop for white side, and this is the white square bishop for the white side. As you can see, moving diagonally, there's no way that this white square bishop will ever be anything else other than a white square bishop, because it can only move diagonally. The queen is like a combo of the rook and the bishop. It can move unlimited spaces in any direction it wants, as long as it's diagonal, forward, back, left, or right. You cannot jump like a knight. The king is truly the only piece that matters in the game. The king can only move 1 square in any direction from its starting point. We have the black queen here. If the opponent puts you into check, the only legal moves you could do in this case is anything that would block the threat, in the sense of maybe just the king moving over and the threat is negated. But if your king is in check, you have to get him out of check or destroy the piece that put the king in check. If the king has not been placed in check, if it has not moved, and the rook on one of the sides is still present, then you may use the turn at some point to castle, where the rook would slide over next to the king and the king would move to the opposite side. As you can see, one side is going to be a little bit longer than the other. So that's all the pieces and how they move, the general rules and principles. The main objective, really the only thing that matters, is the king. If you lose your king, you lose. If you get the opponent's king out, if you checkmate them, then they lose. It really doesn't matter if you lose any other pieces, even if the queen is valuable. They usually say a queen is worth 9 points, a rook is worth 5 points, a knight and bishop are worth 3 points, and pawns are worth 1 point. That gives you some idea of scale to the game, and even though the queen may be worth a lot of points, it doesn't really matter if you lose her, as long as you could take the opponent's king. I won't go into detail here, but certain move openings, such as this, have a name. There's different strategies in which you could play chess. But lastly, I'll say, if you are getting into chess, it could take some time to get acquainted with the board and how the pieces move and how to properly attack and defend. Sometimes it's worth it to sacrifice a piece if you can get an opponent's other piece, maybe say sacrificing a 3-point piece to get a higher point piece. But I would say if you want to start getting experience, besides playing with somebody else and potentially spending a lot of time on games, you could play on chess.com or some other platform where you could do quick standard 10-minute games, 10 minutes per each side. Your timer goes down as you take the time to make your move. If you reach 0 before your opponent reaches 0 and no one's really gotten each other's king, then whoever runs out of their timer first loses. In addition to doing a 10-minute game, You could do a 5 or 3 minute game where each person has, say, 3 minutes, so you can go through games a lot more quickly. If you just go through a lot of games, you will start to get the feel of the game more. The pawns may be 1 point, but they are still great for defense and building a wall so that the other pieces cannot get to your side and thus your king. And that'll be it for this quick guide to chess. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and if you want me to talk about any other topics, then let me know. Until next time, take care.